Hi, this is Sean from Rubus Solutions. Welcome back to the Google Apps Migration Workshop. We're going to go ahead and get started with step 3 by taking a look at additional applications that you'll want to add in. Next, we'll take a look at your user profile, make some updates and changes, followed by domain settings and the default configuration there. And lastly, we'll finish off with email, calendar, and mobile configurations. So to begin, go ahead and navigate to the URL shown here. Just replace yourdomain.com with whatever your domain name is, and we'll get started. So you can see here I've logged into the admin dashboard, and the first thing we're going to do is navigate to the Add More Services here in the center of the page. And what we're going to do is go ahead and add in Google Contacts, Google Wave, and Groups. And once you have that, when you come back to the landing page here, the dashboard, you'll see that those 3 applications have been added to your account. Double check that they're there, and we'll go on to the next step. Back on the dashboard, go ahead and click on Users and Groups, and as soon as that page loads up, what we're going to do is click on your user profile, and we're just going to make a couple quick changes. Once that gets, there we go. So the first thing you want to do on this page is just get familiar with it. The second thing that you want to take a look at is adding a nickname. This is just an alias that you can add. So if you have an admin account, is there going to be like a support at your domain or some other alias account? And then you can go ahead and scroll down and save your changes, and then that should be it for updating your user profile. So back on the dashboard, we're going to go ahead and jump into the domain settings and make just a couple quick configurations. The first of which is just to point out the secondary email address. Definitely make sure that you have an email address that's outside your domain. Read over that information there just to make sure if you have any password resets, you have a second email account. The next thing you'll want to do is set the default time zone. I'm going to go ahead and drop the US in here, and I'm in San Francisco, so I'm going to default to Pacific. And then I always like to remove the advertisements, so I'm going to hide all the ads, and I also like an extra little security blanket, so I'm going to enable the SSL, as well as enable the pre-release features, which is always good to be on the sort of cutting edge. Get some feedback and promotional information from Google, and I'm going to go ahead and save that information, and we're done. Back on the dashboard, go ahead and click on Advanced Tools, and we're just going to make one quick configuration by scrolling all the way to the bottom of the page. This is going to help us out in terms of email setup a little bit later. So go ahead and user email uploads, enable that, and make sure that you scroll up to the top of the page and just ensure that your action has been saved, and then we can go ahead and move on to the next step. Again, back on the dashboard, navigate to the email link there, and we're going to go ahead and choose the offline Gmail option as well as the Gmail Labs option, and we're going to scroll down the page to where we get to the last little bit of the page here around email routing, and we're going to route as a catch-all email address to our administrator email account, just in case somebody mistypes. We'll always get a message there. And then go ahead and scroll down to the bottom where we'll find the mail delegation. That's always nice to turn on in the beginning. Go ahead and save your changes and just make sure that everything is saving. Great. And now we can go ahead and move on to the calendar configuration. Back on the dashboard, you're just going to navigate to the calendar option, and we're just going to take a look at the sharing options. This is one that everybody tends to overlook. By default, you want to enable sharing information outside of the environment. Each individual user will have the ability to make that selection on their end. And if you leave it on the default, even if they want to, they won't be able to share any information outside of your domain. Lastly, we want to take a look at the mobile configuration, and these have recently changed, so I just want to make sure that we get this covered. The first thing you'll want to do is select the Enable Google Sync. and then scroll down to the device settings. Go ahead and encrypt the data on the device, and we're going to leave the require users to set passwords unchecked. Go ahead and save your configurations, and that is all we have for today. Done and done.